Hey everybody, good morning and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. On today's episode, we will be talking about the three books that helped Gabe grow his business this year. As always, the show is brought to you by Business Marketing Engine. If you need unique marketing solutions to build your business, head over to businessmarketingengine.com. Now let me pass it on to our host for today. Hey Gabe, good morning.
Good morning, Jethro. Good morning, everyone. Hope you have an amazing day whenever you get to tune in and watch this, wherever you are in the world. And one of the things that I consistently do and have done for years is I spend a lot of time reading books and listening to books, on Audible audio books, and I find that that's one of the biggest drivers of growth and success in my life and in my business. And so I wanted to share today three of the books that really kind of move the needle for me this year, and just talk about what I learned in those. And then, of course, you can check them out as well. But the first one that I actually just finished most recently is called $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. And Alex built up huge. He built up like a gym launch program, essentially, and he started doing it. Let's see, it's 2021, like 4 or 5 years ago, and went from broke and having no money in his bank account to making millions in a really short time. And he just in his book, it's what I love about the book is it's pretty short. It's not overly complex, and it's actually the first book in a series of books that he's working on. And he talks about all the essential elements for what a strong offer and what's going to be an offer that converts really well. And the longer that I'm an entrepreneur, the more that I realize, getting good at creating strong offers and continuing to test and improve and repackage your offers is such a key part of growing the business. And so it's been a focus for me over the last few months, and will be a big focus for us in 2022, to not only improve our own offers, but also just really work with our clients to create really strong offers. And so Alex in the book breaks down all the elements in an offer, what makes it work, things you need to pay attention to, and how to test and improve your offers. And what I really like about the book is he explains it in such a way and talks about the experience and the success that he's had, and explains that it can, getting good at creating offers and making ridiculously good money is actually a formula that you can practice and perfect and improve over time. And so for any entrepreneur out there, any salespeople, any marketing leaders, it's definitely something that I recommend you check it out. Second book on my list this year that I really enjoyed is called What Doesn't Kill Us, and that's by Scott Carney. And what I like about in the book is Scott starts off early in the book. He starts talking about Wim Hof, who is a guy who invented, or not invent, but really promoted and kind of made popular some breathing techniques and breath work. And Wim Hof is also somebody that he's like swam under the ice for I think like 100 yards, or like he's swam in like incredibly cold water. He's done all these crazy kind of stunts that nobody thought was possible. And Wim has actually gotten to the point where he's trained his breathing and his body so he can at random just consciously choose to heat up his body or cool it down, or speed up his heart rate or slow down his heart rate. But really what I liked most about in the book is it really just dove into the benefits of things like cold therapy, cold plunging, which is something that I do every morning, which is a huge part of my daily routine, and just really helps me choose positive adversity in the morning. And it's been a huge part of driving success. And Scott also talks about just some other, really interesting and effective, health practices that he uncovered in his research. So that book's really interesting. And the reason why books like that, and specifically that one, help me in business is because I realize more and more every year that the more that I take care of my mind and my body, the more that I, just keep myself in great shape. That allows me to have my best energy to serve my team, to serve our clients, to be creative, and to drive the business forward. And so anytime that I'm coaching or talking to an entrepreneur and I see that they're in a slump or they're stuck or something's going on and they just feel off in the business, I very quickly, will ask them like, what's going on, personally with your health, and how are you sleeping, and what's going on in your personal relationships, because all of those things have such a massive impact on our ability to show up, and lead, with neutrality, and lead from a place of responsiveness instead of reactiveness. And so anything that I can do to hyper optimize, my body, and my mindset is something that I'm always interested in and invested in. So again, and that one was called What Doesn't Kill Us by Scott Carney. He has another one called The Wedge. Both of those are really excellent books to read. And they just are, kind of in the line of the biohacking end of things. But that's something that, I find that's really valuable and important as entrepreneurs, that we just really maximize our body and our output and our ability to stay healthy and be really well rested and be in a good state, because that's what impacts our productivity. And the third thing, the third book is Sam Walton, Made in America. It's by John Huey, I think is how you say it. And Sam Walton wrote some of it as well. And he talks about how Sam, got into retail and ultimately started Walmart. And it's a really long biography about him. But there's so many lessons inside the book, but a couple that really stood out to me that I've been able to think through and apply, and will continue to apply. One of them is Sam chose early on to trust his store managers, trust the people that, that were in his business. And because of that, they were able to test and improve and figure out better merchandising approaches, better strategies, better logistics. And he was just really good at trusting his team and hiring in the right people. So there's a lot of lessons in the book around that. And the second thing that I'll probably never forget from the book is Sam had his pilot's license, and he had a small plane, and he would fly over new market areas where he was considering putting a Walmart store in, and he would look and say, where can I visually see that the neighborhoods are growing around this metro area. Like if he was flying over, Chicago, in the Chicago area, in the rural areas, he would see what neighborhoods were growing, where construction was going on, and he could, see where the population was growing. And then he would choose to put his Walmart stores where the population was moving to. Like he would be a little bit ahead of the curve and go, oh, I can see there's population growth here. I can see there's a bunch of neighborhoods being built. I can kind of see where the metro area and the rural areas are expanding, and he would strategically choose to put his stores right in those places. And then within a matter of a couple of years, he was in the middle of that, and then busy residential area, or busy area where new homes were going up and just the population was growing. And when I read that, I just thought that was brilliant, that he used a very simple approach to just visually look at what was going on from the air. And it reminded me that one of the things that as entrepreneurs is we need to be conscious of, where is the next generation going? Where are they gathering their information? How can we continue to build our exposure and continue to gain attention, not only from our existing client base and the existing market that we serve, but ultimately from the markets that we should be serving in the future. And so that's something that's I continue to kind of roll around in my head and work on and figure out, and just start to think about how do we continue as, business owners, entrepreneurs, how do we continue to remain relevant and continue to get new market share while also serving our existing client base. And so that book was really fascinating. I really enjoyed that. And it was something that just taught me a lot. So those are 3 books that moved the needle for me this year. I make it my intention and goal to read a book a week. Some of the time I stay at that pace. Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 a month. But I would encourage you, if you're not setting aside regular time to read, then you're probably missing out on a significant amount of knowledge and just accelerated leverage that you can bring into your business and your life. And so taking that time to read and research and just gather perspective and thoughts from other people through reading is one of the things that I know is really driven my business forward. For me, I any book I read, I can generally directly equate to $50,000 in revenue. So I'll say, I'll happily pay $10-$20 for a book, whatever it is, because if I apply what I learn in there, it pays for itself thousands and thousands of times over. So those are the three books that, like I said, moved the needle for me. I will drop a comment down below later with a link to a reading list that I kind of keep up to date on my website, so you can check out other things that I've read over the years. And I appreciate you taking time to tune in today. So, Jethro.
Thank you, Gabe. And that's it for today's episode on the Engine Builder Show. We appreciate you all for tuning in. If you like our content, then please hit the like, follow, and subscribe. And hit the bell as well if you want to get notified when we go live. Again, if you want to grow your unique business, head over to businessmarketingengine.com. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.